We often think we know the Romans, don't we? Their world seems so familiar, populated by figures in flowing white togas, gladiators forever locked in a fight to the death. But most Romans never wore a toga in daily life. Surprisingly, a gladiator had a better chance of surviving a fight than pop culture suggests. Delightful contradictions that make studying Rome endlessly fascinating. Stories passed through art, literature, and film have a powerful grip on our imagination. They present a simplified, dramatic version of a complex reality. Popular Rome is a tapestry of truth and fabrication. It's our job as curious historians to pull at those threads. The allure of Roman myth is understandable. These stories promise order and grandeur, monolithic, predictable, easily digestible. One of the most persistent images of ancient Rome is that of a populace universally draped in the elegant flowing folds of the toga. We see it in statues, in paintings, and in every film set in the Eternal City, creating the impression that from the senator to the shopkeeper, this was the standard daily attire. This is a powerful myth, but it's a myth nonetheless. The reality is that the toga was far from a universal garment. It was a highly symbolic, often cumbersome piece of clothing reserved for a specific class of people on specific occasions. It was a formal uniform, not everyday wear. For most people under Roman rule, the simple tunic was the garment of choice, far more comfortable and versatile for daily life. The toga was essentially a massive semicircle of heavy wool, sometimes up to 6 meters, intricately draped around the body. Impractical for labor, difficult to keep clean, and often requiring skill, or a helpful slave, to put on correctly. Its primary function was as a status symbol. Wearing a toga signified you were a male Roman citizen in good standing. It was required for law courts, religious ceremonies, and political life, a public performance of citizenship. In contrast, most people wore tunics. Women, slaves, freedmen, laborers, soldiers, and many citizens off-duty. The cinematic vision of gladiatorial combat is brutally simple. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. The crowd roars for blood, and a merciless emperor delivers a fatal thumbs down. This myth has defined our view of the arena, but archaeological and textual evidence paints a more nuanced picture. Gladiators were expensive, highly trained athletes. Killing them every match would ruin the business. Many trained for years in ludi. They were the superstars of their day. Fans, followers, distinct styles. Owners paid for food, medical care, and training, so they didn't want them destroyed. Many matches ended with a wound, a disarm, or exhaustion. The loser raised a finger to surrender. An official, swayed by the crowd, often decided. The famous thumbs down is debated. Death may have been thumb up like a drawn sword. Mercy, thumb tucked like a sheathed blade. Cemeteries at Ephesus show healed wounds, evidence of survival and skilled care. Death was possible. The games were brutal and political, state power on display. But economics and sport complicate the myth. Gladiators were both disposable lives and valuable investments. When we think of Roman baths, we picture vast, steamy rooms dedicated solely to hygiene. The myth reduces them to cleanliness, but they were marvels of engineering serving the masses. And that captures only a fraction of their purpose. The thermae were the vibrant heart of social life. The community center, cafe, gym, and business lounge rolled into one. Visits took hours. Tepidarium to caldarium. A scrape with the strigil. Then a bracing plunge in the frigidarium. Libraries, gardens, exercise yards, places for body and mind. Entrance fees were low or free, welcoming nearly everyone, from senators to artisans. Here you heard gossip, listened to poets, struck deals, gauged opinion, and networked. Food vendors served a constant hum of conversation, debate, and commerce. The baths were essential civic institutions. To miss them was to miss the city's rhythm. More than hygiene, they were where Romans gathered to talk, argue, relax, and be Roman. The story of the fall of Rome is often presented as a single dramatic event. We're given a date, 476 AD, Romulus Augustulus deposed by Odoacer. It's mythologized as the day the lights went out. That tidy narrative is compelling but misleading. The empire did not fall in a day, a year, or a decade. What we call the fall was gradual, complex, and unfolded over centuries. No single moment ended it. Multiple pressures built over generations, not just invasions. Chronic instability, civil wars, short-lived emperors, hyperinflation, crushing taxes to fund armies, disrupted trade. Plagues thinned populations and the tax base. Recruitment shrank. Power shifted to provinces and local rulers. The East did not fall in 476. Constantinople thrived, preserving Roman law and administration until 1453. For many, change felt local, not apocalyptic. 476 is a bookmark, not a cataclysm. Western authority withered, replaced by Germanic kingdoms, a slow, messy unraveling. We often assume everyone spoke Latin, a unified empire where you could go from Britain to Syria and be understood. Latin was the language of state, army, and law, but the empire was profoundly multilingual. Hundreds of local languages coexisted with Latin. In the East, Greek remained dominant for culture and commerce. In the West, Latin spread, but everyday vulgar Latin differed from Cicero's prose. Vulgar Latin was dynamic, absorbing Celtic, Iberian, and Germanic elements, a fusion rather than replacement. Rome entered a deeply Hellenized world, legacy of Alexander. Greek stayed the lingua franca across the East. Romans didn't erase Greek. Latin might govern. Daily life, philosophy, and trade continued in Greek, hence the New Testament in Greek. People were often bi- or trilingual. Latin for official matters, Greek for commerce, local tongues at home. As Western authority waned, vulgar Latin split into Romance languages, regional evolutions across Gaul, Iberia, and Dacia. French, Spanish, Portuguese, Romanian. The empire was never one voice, but a chorus whose echoes we still speak. The Roman legionary is an icon of military might, a disciplined soldier conquering new lands. But he was also an engineer, builder, and agent of infrastructure. As much time with shovel and line as with sword and shield. They built fortified camps nightly, ditch, rampart, palisades. Permanent forts seeded cities, Cologne, Vienna, York, projecting permanence and control. Legionaries engineered straight, durable roads, moving troops, goods, messages, and people, knitting the empire together. They dug canals, built aqueducts, and drove mines. A 25-year enlistment meant hard labor. Battle was often the exception. Beyond war, they were engines of Romanization, bringing technology, organization, and a new civic life to provinces. Roads spread ideas and goods. Towns around forts became centers. The legionary didn't just conquer the world, he built it. Popular imagination sees endless decadence, exotic dishes, and even a so-called vomitorium. Satirists fueled the myth. Elite feasts existed, but they weren't daily life. Most meals were simple and repetitive, grain as bread or pulse. Rome even ran the cura annoni, importing grain from Egypt and North Africa for the dole. People supplemented with what was cheap and local, vegetables and legumes. Olives and oil were staples. Meat was rare for most, more common at festivals. Protein came from cheese, eggs, and garum. Fish sauce used in nearly everything. Garum was a major industry. Diets varied by class and region. A Gaulish farmer's fare differed from a coastal Greek's. There was no single Roman food. The decadent banquet was 1% theater. The true taste of Rome was humbler. Bread, olive oil, and a splash of garum. The myth says Rome vanished, leaving ruins and a dead language. We see the Colosseum and think the story is over. But we still live in many Roman ways, far beyond stone and mortar. Romance languages descend from vulgar Latin, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Romanian. Latin shaped English vocabulary and pervades science, medicine, law, and theology. Senate, republic, contract, data. Roman terms frame modern thought. Justinian codified Roman law. Civil law traditions span continents. Concepts like contracts, public versus private law, and innocent until proven guilty are Roman at root. Many cities sit on Roman foundations. Grids and highways echo ancient roots. From arches, domes, and vaults to civic styles, our calendar and alphabet, the Roman legacy hides in plain sight.